Welcome to Mujeres Unscripted, where we amplify the voices of women through unique stories and shared identity. We're Christina,
And Renee.
and each week we dive into candid conversations about culture, career, and personal growth.
Join us as we celebrate the strength and resilience that connects us all. This
It's
is
Mujeres
Mujeres
Unscripted.
Unscripted.
Hello and welcome to Mujeres Unscripted. I am Renee,
And I'm Christina.
and I'm so glad you're here on this Father's Day weekend.
You're saying that a little forced.
Oh no. No, I'm still I'm still waking up. Took a nap and waking up, so no, not forced.
It's like Father's Day weekend.
No. No. I'm good. Fathers deserve, praise and stuff too. They deserve a day also.
They sure do. They sure do. Somehow my husband always seems like he's getting cheated, because Mother's Day, and I was like, what are you talking about? You have kids, they need to, and all three of them need to make it his day,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Um I mean, we don't really do much for Mother's Day and Father's Day. My whole thing is it's in June. I mean, you can celebrate bigger because on Mother's Day we're still at work at school, and so you can't really. It's like, okay, Mother's Day, I still got to go to bed early. Whereas in
Yeah,
Father's
yeah.
Day, we can stay up, celebrate a little
Because
bit
it's
longer.
vacation
It's
time.
vacation unless you're a dork like me and decided to work during the summer.
Oh no. Mm-mm. No. That's why I do all of my training. I try to get that out of the way before my contract days are up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because you know how yours is a lot sooner than mine.
Right.
And so I don't care. I'm gonna get it done so that I can have at least, a good month off. That's what I hope.
Well, I'm not teaching, so that's a good thing.
Oh God.
You know, um, I'm helping the district in a different way, and I don't have to go in early. I don't have a set day or time where I have to be there and do what I'm doing. So it's not too bad. So if I want to stay up late, I can because I can go in like at
Yeah.
11 if I
Nice.
wanted
Those
to.
are good. I wish we could teach like
I
that, like really
know.
set our own hours. Because I wouldn't mind doing what other people do,
Right.
which is like they go work out, they go swim at the pool,
And
come back, get dressed, get ready. And I was like, who the hell does that?
we've talked about that before because I get to our school pretty early because I have to drop off the little ones. And
Yeah.
it's about 7:45, I guess, after I drop off the two elementary school kiddos, and I'm going to our school. And you're right, they're out there walking the dog like at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what time do you go to work? Playing tennis because there's a tennis court by our school. They're already playing tennis, and I'm like,
Right? You've got all of these. Yeah.
do you go to
No, what I
work?
was saying is like, especially in our area, you've got all these. uh, you're right, walking their dog, walking back from Starbucks, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm at work already. What do you
What
what
are
do
you
you do that
doing?
you can I need to know what you do. And then I ask myself those questions like, well, hell, I can't afford these high-rise apartments. What do you
No.
do to afford that? I'm always asking those questions.
And that kind of goes into what I wanted to talk about was when do you throw away clothing? So, we posted that nice picture. Guys, we showed up at PD, didn't talk to each other the night before, and it's like we're wearing the exact same outfits.
Hmm.
And so, the shirt, jeans, even Converses. We were wearing the black
We
Converses.
were wearing our Chucks, our
Yes.
black Chucks.
And but I had to tell Christina, I'm like, don't walk too fast. My pants are going out. And she's like, what? And I'm like, you know, when you have big thighs, and they rub together and the pants finally start to strain. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to spend $26 on a new pair of blue jeans. So I was like, we got to find the elevator. I'm not doing stairs because that's gonna make the the
That'll
rip.
just create more friction.
Yeah, and that's some of
Yeah.
us just have like the smallest I've been. I think was a size 8, but I couldn't buy a size 8 clothes. I still had to wear like a size 10 or even a 12 sometimes because of my thighs. So this is just something, and I know many women out there understand that plight of darn it blue
They
jeans.
when they start making that
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, you got to take it very careful from that point on. Um, yeah, it's gonna happen.
it is. And so it's just like, at what point do you buy the patch for them because the pants are comfy, or do you just like
They're
suck it?
broken in.
They're
Yeah,
broken in. They're just for you now. You know.
yeah.
But then I've tried the iron on patch or whatever, and it hurts. Maybe I didn't do it right, but it hurts my leg on the inside. So I don't know. So I think I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet because I also don't like. I'm not a big fan of skinny jeans or straight leg
Yeah,
jeans. I'm a boot cut girl,
gotcha.
and those are kind of hard to find in my size. And so Efren's like, throw them away. We'll go to Walmart because they're Walmart
Well,
pants. They're not even like,
they're not like the Gap.
no, they're Walmart pants. Like, we'll go to Walmart and we'll get you another pair of pants. And I'm like,
But
oh, okay.
okay, so here's my question to you:
Mhm,
is a better brand, and maybe someone else can answer this for me
mhm,
too. Is the better brand Jean, right? The Gap, you
mhm.
know, um, J. Crew, right? Is that brand better? Will it last longer,
Yeah,
or just go buy your $26 jean,
exactly. Because they last me about a
right?
good 6 months.
Because you know where I go. I go to Marshalls,
Right,
and they're about 19.99. Those jeans, they're
right.
all there, right? And I found the nice skinny jean that I like, and and yeah, every time my black jeans wear out, they no longer look black; they look gray.
Mhm.
That's when I need to go and buy a new pair of $19.99 jeans. So,
Yeah.
but is it better? Is the better brand better than the Marshalls brand or the Walmart brand?
I
Curious.
Yeah, I don't. I think the most expensive pair of pants, and I was in high school, were the Jabot
Mhm.
pants.
Oh my God, those made me look awesome.
I know.
I loved
I
those pants.
loved
I
those
remember that
pants.
pair.
And they were like, I kind of, I was in high school. I don't think I had a job yet at the time. I think I was still too young to have a job. So my mom bought me a pair of Jabot jeans, and I'm like,
Mm.
oh my gosh, they were like almost $100.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
expensive jeans, but I remember they just felt so good and they fit so good, and
yeah,
I don't know why the company
yeah. What
stopped
happened to
existing,
them?
right?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
not just not making pants anymore, but they just stopped existing.
yeah. They off the face of the earth.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows? Maybe we can find something on I don't know, Amazon or eBay. Someone out there still has a pair
I
that they want to sell.
know.
Uh,
But I like
but
those.
yeah, yeah,
Those were good
yeah.
jeans.
Those were a good brand for sure. And um, I know Guess is still out there, but I don't even know where to buy a pair of Guess jeans now. I mean, I
No,
right? Not even at
no.
Macy's. Are they just sticking to perfumes now? Who knows?
Because I don't know if like, because Guess had that label, Jabot had the weirdest pant label placement. It was right there on the crotch, right?
Right there on the zipper. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Um,
White label.
then you had like the Vidal, you had Jordache. They had all these symbols and brands on jeans, and I don't think they do that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if like when it comes to jeans, if there's a brand that's like sticking out nowadays, like it would have, like how the brand for your jeans was a big deal in high school when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know.
You know, Renee, I bet people are wondering, guys, this is like an awesome weekend. Why are we not talking about the obvious? And why are we just talking about jeans? It's like, you're right. I
You're
mean,
right.
yeah, but it's all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that we're not supporters of what was going on this weekend, but it's just,
Hmm.
meh, meh. Right. I
Yes.
mean, I'm just saying, we don't want to get
Political.
political. We don't want, yeah, because we still have,
We still have our
yeah,
day to day issues that I think most people experience more than what's going on worldwide. Yeah.
yeah.
So speaking of not being political, did you see the Hamilton tribute at the Tonys?
Way not to be political. I, we're trying to do a good job here, y'all. But before we even jump on, like, hey, did you see this?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
talked about
you
it
know you
beforehand.
know how you feel about that, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's just, yeah, it's just trying to keep it friendly,
Yeah.
and women friendly, and not that those issues don't affect us. They do. They are close to our hearts.
Yeah.
We are very active in our opinions. But for now, we're just gonna. Yeah, Hamilton's awesome. I saw a couple of videos on that too, and I'm like, oh my God, it's already been 10
10
years.
years. 10
Wow.
years since the and I liked it that all the original cast came back.
Yeah, nice.
It was
Yeah.
very I liked the way they did it. It was a lot of the the songs that weren't, you know how there's the songs when it comes to musical theater. There's always going to be
Mm-hmm.
those bigs like with Wicked, Defying Gravity, you know.
Mm,
But there's those other little songs that sh- are just as good.
mm-hmm.
And so they used a lot of those, or some of those that you wouldn't expect them to have played because they weren't their
Right.
bigger numbers.
Gotcha. No,
Uh,
I just watched the TikTok videos of them being introduced, in their rehearsal rooms, and them coming back after 10 years, and I thought that was great. I mean,
mhm.
if we're talking about Hamilton, we're talking about politics, right? And
Yeah.
so in a way we are very supportive.
Yes.
So yeah.
But no, they did it. I liked how everybody was in black. And some of the background um, people, they actually went on to win Grammys and they still came back and reprised their role. It was the Bullet Girl, the girl that does the
Uh,
Bullet. She, I
uh-huh.
think, has won a Grammy and she came back
Oh.
and, giving her homage to, I guess, where she started. And
The original King George is one of my I cannot remember his name right now. My God, but he's in a series on um on Netflix, and oh, you know what? I'm gonna look for him real quick because I love that series, and for some reason I'm having brain fog
you're talking about
today.
Jonathan Groff?
Yes, yes, him. I'm glad you remembered. But yeah, he's awesome. He's in that miniseries with Jonathan Brown.
Now, he was in a couple of episodes of Glee also.
Yes, but there he was, Jonathan. But he was also in that series with um not just Hamilton, Mindhunter.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Mindhunter. Oh my God, it's like the creation of the FBI profiling department of all the serial killers. It
Ooh.
is amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to look. I'm gonna have to.
unfortunately, it's only two seasons. People, viewers, and fans have been trying to get a third season going, but yeah, he's one of my favorites
Um,
from the Hamilton crew.
yeah, he does very good. He did very good as King George the third.
Yes, he does.
But he was the only one that had color
Oh,
out of the group. Everybody else was dressed in black, all black, and he
mm,
had a red blazer. well, just like in the play,
Oh.
he had
Mhm.
he was very distinct in the red. So
Well, he is British in the play,
yes,
and he is the king in the play.
yes, 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 yes. So, and founding fathers. Let's go ahead and get into Father's Day.
That's a nice segue, Renee.
Thank
Good job.
you, thank
Good
you.
job. I like that. Speaking
So,
of fathers.
speaking of fathers, we're yes, our husbands are great, they're awesome, but I think maybe, and you and I discussed this before, that maybe we need to talk about our own dads. Did I lose you?
Hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So I'll let you
There we
go
go.
first,
Yeah.
cause that was your suggestion. So
My suggestion. Well,
yes.
unfortunately, my father's been gone for a couple of years now, and but I was like, remember I mentioned how my husband feels he gets the short end of the stick on
Mhm.
Father's Day, and I was just kind of happy just for him to have his children here today for brunch and
Mhm.
enjoy some game playing time with each other. So I kind of I made myself a little scarce, but I just want to, just share a small memory of my dad. I mean, my parents divorced when we were about 10, 11 years old. And I always knew that my dad loved us. That was never questioned. I did get to live with him for about a year after their divorce, but just to experience something different. But I just remember my dad just being dad and never like um ignoring us like most people, they get divorced. And
Mhm.
my mom was very always supportive about him no matter what happened in their marriage. She was always the one saying, hey, call your dad.
Yeah.
Go make that effort, make the effort. And of course we had this mentality of like, we're not the father, we're not the parent,
Yeah.
but my mom, like, no, he's still your dad. You have the ability to call him,
Mhm.
make that connection. And sure enough, when we did, it was very welcoming. He
Mhm.
either wanted us, he was going to pick us up for to grab dinner or lunch, or or just talk on the phone for a little bit.
Mhm.
He was always open to all of that. And I just remember the day that my mother died,
Mhm.
and the first person I saw when I got to my mom's house,
Mhm.
was my dad. He was right there in the driveway waiting, and, with open arms, and just, he wasn't trying to like solve a problem. He was
Mhm.
just being my dad, and just holding me. And I just wanted to say, that is the best memory that I will always carry with me. And, I appreciate him being dad at that moment. So just wanted to share that.
Like you said, I don't know about your dad, but I actually have the privilege, even though I complain about it. My dad lives with us, and we're going on 5 years that he's been living with us. Um,
Yeah.
but my dad is not a very touchy feely dad. He's not one to say I love you. So he's very
Mm,
from that generation.
got it.
You know, and I don't know if your dad was like that too. Um, but my dad's number 7 out of 11. He remembers picking cotton. So he grew up in that kind of
Mm,
time. And
yeah.
so he never, like, even now he doesn't. He's not a hugger. He's one, and that kind of leads me into, he's not a hugger with me. So even though he would show him his little ways, and he still does it now. Like if he apologizes, it's because he buys you something. You just got to know his little,
His
nuance,
love
his
language.
love language, right? He's not going to tell
Yeah.
you, he's not going to show you, but like I remember the first time me and him got into an argument after Ephraim, and I got together, and he's like, but he didn't apologize. I said, he's not. Like that's just something
Yeah.
I'm used to. And then, of course,
Yes.
the next day he buys me something, and I told Eve, I was like, that's his apology. That's you're gonna notice that that's how he apologizes. But
Mhm.
the great thing with him living here is he does hug on my kids. He still doesn't say I love you, but he'll put his arm around them, which for him to me is like a big step, and he's very playful with them. So, what he didn't do with me, he's doing with my kids. Like Simeon, the youngest one, for the past like month, he'll just be in my dad's room.
Ah.
And I'm like, hey, buddy, what are you doing? Chilling with Lelo.
Chilling.
He's just chilling with his Lelo. And I'm like, well,
Versus two villains chilling.
yeah. And then I'm like, well, what are you doing? He's like, just chilling. And so I'll go in there and I'll knock on the door and I'll open it up. Simeon's watching his tablet on my dad's bed. My dad's watching TV, and that's them chilling.
Yeah.
That's them chilling. Or I'll call Simeon and say, hey, we'll buy them ice cream cups or whatever. Can I take one to Lelo? And yesterday it was so funny. I was like, buddy, Lelo left, but he got a freezer in his room. I could put in his freezer. So,
Oh.
so yeah. So for me, it's yeah. He did great things or good things to let me know that he loved me when I was younger. But to see him with my kids
Yeah.
is a greater memory than what he I would have had with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
sweet. That's his friend, man.
that's his friend, and then
So
he'll
good.
and the buying doesn't end. I mean,
Yeah.
so which I'm thankful for. He'll hear like when Joseph needed a Switch, a Nintendo Switch,
Hmm.
which aren't cheap.
No, they're not.
Um my dad was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh, he needs it for esports, kind of just, in a toss off comment, not thinking much of it." The next day my dad comes home with the Switch.
Nita. Oh.
And the whole thing, the Switch, the
Yeah.
controls, the thing to hook it up to the TV, the whole thing. And I think Rebecca told him that she wanted to start taking pictures. He bought her one of those like paparazzi cameras. So
Oh.
just little things like that, and I'm just thankful that my kids now have a memory
Yes.
with their little with
Yes.
my dad.
Yes. There you go.
So
Oh,
yeah.
that's his love language. He may not say it because
Mm-mm.
you're right. They totally grew up in a totally different era. They didn't have time for that.
No.
They estaban trabajando, right? They were
Yeah.
working. I mean, you're right. I mean, our parents didn't. They had to take what they needed to take and to help support family and but yeah, that's one thing I definitely don't. I mean, anyone who's ever worked on a farm
Mhm.
had to pick strawberries, onions. I mean, my mom and my dad, that they did that too, and so I'm just like, no, um, they just,
Yeah.
they were a different generation for sure, for sure, for
And
sure.
it didn't click with me until my his mom moved in with us when I was in high
Oh,
school.
uh-huh.
And Myanmar, she was not a very touchy feely person. She was very blunt and to the point, So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I get it now.
This is dad.
This
No
is
wonder dad.
yeah. No wonder Dad, and he was
But you at least picked up on that.
yeah.
And sometimes a lot of our even I would even say our students, they don't pick up on the fact that sometimes our parents, they weren't given the skills
Mhm.
to be able to say I love you, to be able to be affectionate, because they grew up in a different time period,
Mhm.
and it that just wasn't done,
Mhm.
right? And but you were able to pick up on it. Like, wait a
Mhm.
minute, I see this between his mother and him. This is definitely a behavior, but I think he's definitely taking baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Um,
I
my
mean, I wish he was, uh, I was somehow adopted, and I need, a nice art set for my new watercolors. I'm just gonna put that out there, Renee.
I snorted.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
I snorted.
Oh,
Well, hey, Alicia's got a lot of them. I'll see what she's not using. I'll get them to you
mm.
with her art. But
There you
yeah,
go.
now my mom would tell me, you know, when I graduated from college, when I did certain things, she's like, I just want to let you know that your dad got a little teary eyed. Or now it may or may not have been true because my mom was always the one that was like, no, your dad this, your dad's okay with it. She was kind of like the
Yeah,
mediator when I didn't understand.
yeah,
But if those things are true, then um, yeah, that would make I would take them as true. So, those are the little things that I didn't get to see. So, which,
yeah.
along with that generation, they do it in secret instead of
See,
out and about. So, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then it, the. I mean, I always wondered, the words "I'm proud of you" never came out because one, he left quite suddenly,
Mhm.
so I never really heard that. But um, I like to think that he was, and that
Mhm.
um, you know, somehow, yeah, because he was raised in a very, very strict family
Mhm.
too, and so not a lot of that, but you know,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna hold on to that part.
Yeah. 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 A lot of good jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, like I said, I think it's just a generation. Because if you ask the people in like Gen X, that having that dad that was loving and comforting and touchy feely, it's a rarity.
Hmm.
And you just got to think of everything like you said that they were dealing with when they were growing up. But um like you said, they just as kids you just got to pick up with that's just how that is. And sometimes it's a negative, but if he doesn't want to say I love you but shows you in other ways, you just got to take it. You just got to take it. So
Accept it, right? Accept
mhm.
it, and it may not be your way, but one thing for sure I've learned is that we're here only for a short time, not a long time,
Mhm.
and we got to make it work, right? We got
Yeah.
to make it work.
Yeah.
Um, even as we're going through this roller coaster of emotions, like, oh, perimenopause, and and I'll tell you what, this month has been a roller coaster of emotions.
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe because again, Diego's wrapped up his junior year, we're going into senior, and all of a sudden these emotions on my way to work and back have just been like, and I'm sitting there, I find myself crying, and of course I don't come home and I share that, but I was just like, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling this way? And it's just been very erratic for me.
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty stable.
No, I'm emotional. I've always been emotional. But you're right cuz it's just you know so Joseph ended 8th grade. I know it's not senior year cuz I still have 4 more years with him. But because his group was the ones that opened the school, they did a very
Mm,
big, like with Alicia at her school for her. And of course, I'm very emotional with her because she's the first one I've birthed, and so because I have my older kiddos from Ephraim's first marriage. So when they were doing her thing, oh my God, I was a blubbering mess. Cause
oh,
I'm like, it's my baby. My mom is not here. Oh my
oh,
goodness. Um, and then so with Joseph, I was doing good. We go into their celebration, and then
it
they.
hit you.
But let me tell you why it hit me. They're showing this video, and they showed all of their pictures from their very first year at their school.
Oh my God.
I looked at Ephraim and I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
And then here comes little second grade Joseph on the screen. I was like, oh my God, it's my baby. Oh no.
Oh no. What a way to rip your heart out. Oh my
So,
God.
and then like actually some of the first teachers that were there, they have gone to move, they've moved on to other things, but they came back. So like his very first set of teachers were there talking to him. So it was just like, I hate you. I hate you, school. Y'all did a great job,
Why
but
did
I
you
hate
choose
you.
me?
Like I'm tearing
This
up
is
now. Like
beautiful.
what? Like
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That's exactly it.
yeah.
So the boys, we were having dinner and Armando looks at me and he goes, "It's time for Diego to change his voicemail."
What?
And
What?
I said, "No." Yeah, he's Diego has this really cute outgoing
Uh huh.
voice, right? And I told him, "You're never changing it, son."
Oh
And
no.
he's like, "Oh." And of course Diego's like, "Of course, mom, you're right? This is years back. He's had it for years. He sounds like the 7-year-old or the 10-year-old that I got the yeah, yeah, that's the face. That is exactly it. And so he sounds that way. And Armando's like, "Diego, it's time for you to change his voice." And I looked at him. I'm like, "No,
No,
he's
it's
not."
not.
And of course, you know, Mondo makes it very logical, just,
Great for you,
reason
Mr.
behind it.
Logic, but my heart's saying no, it's not, sir.
Well, he's like, "Christina, he's going to be get called for interviews. They shouldn't really be hearing that little voice." And I'm like, "But that's my baby's voice. That's, you're not changing that." Diego's like, "Mom, I will make sure I download it and make sure you always have it." And I'm just looking at them like, "How
How dare you? How dare you make my child
this
grow
me?"
up? No, no.
But like the logical side makes sense.
Oh, I know. I know. And I get that. But again, my heart is saying no, sir.
No.
But, and now I don't know if you
Yeah.
know this, Facebook is about to, and I got to do that this week. They're about to
What's that?
get rid of all the live videos, supposedly from
Get
your
rid of what?
account. The videos that you've uploaded live or you did Facebook Live with.
Oh,
So I'm having to go back all the way to the beginning of when I started with the kiddos and stuff and record.
oh,
Um,
upload them or download them.
mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so
I guess they're cleaning up.
yeah, I did about 5 of them, and I was like, I can't do it anymore. I can't. I can't.
It put you.
My emotions cannot handle
Damn
it.
you, Facebook.
Damn you, Facebook. Because there's
You're.
Simeon in a crib and Joseph playing with
Oh.
them, or Simeon in his crib and Rebecca playing, and it's just like, or ugh.
Yeah. No, it's like Facebook for me has been like the album of
Mhm,
of my son, because
mhm.
it's just so easy to upload the picture and it's been there, or the video, and now you're telling me I'm about to lose it forever? How
Yeah,
dare you?
yeah. So I've been downloading those, but of course I watch them before I download them, and then I'm just like a blubbering mess.
Yeah.
So
All over again.
all over
All
again.
over
I,
again.
yeah. So well, we are actually going into 40 minutes. We overtalked.
What?
I know. But yeah, you get us talking about family, and we can't stop.
We can't stop.
Proud of our
That's such a
parents
so.
and all that
Yes.
they've gone through for us, and now we see, of course, now why with our own kiddos, why they did so much for us. So,
Hmm.
fathers, if you're
Yep.
listening, happy Father's Day. I hope you had a great, great weekend.
Happy Father's Day, y'all.
And I guess until next time, everybody,
Woohoo!
have a good one.
Bye.